So today we're talking about Towson, and we're going to talk about the pros, the cons, the ins, the outs, the goods, the bads, everything about living in Towson that you need to know before you check it out or plan to make a move to this area. So we're going to get into it right now. Hello, I am Persia Swift. I'm founder and creator of Baltimore Inside and Out, and I'm also a local realtor in Baltimore Metro and the Central Maryland area. And if you are looking to know everything about what's going on, the fun things to do, just living, working, playing in Baltimore Metro and the surrounding areas, then you have come to the right place. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm here to give you tips, strategy, information to help you move to the Baltimore Metro area. So if you're new, make sure to hit the subscribe button below and to tap the notification bell to make sure that you are aware of all of the newest content that comes out about what's going on in the Baltimore Metro housing market and what's there to do. For the past 4 years, I've been helping people just like you looking to move to the Baltimore Metro area, and I absolutely love it. So whether you're thinking about moving in 9 days or 90 days, please reach out to me. Feel free to call, text, email, schedule a Zoom call, and I will be more than happy to help you make a smooth move to Baltimore. The website niche.com gave Towson an A+ ranking when it comes to livability. Towson is one of those places that is really sought after, especially for folks wanting good schools, wanting single family houses, and people who are looking to transition from out of Baltimore City into the suburbs for things like more yard space, better schools, kind of more of a suburban lifestyle and pace. So I'm going to start this video with the pros, and there are a lot of them. The first pro that I'm going to start with is that Towson is in an incredibly convenient location. It has easy access to I-83, which is the main thoroughfare that kind of takes you north to south from the city, like all the way up to the Pennsylvania line. You can take 83, convenient to 695, which is the Beltway. It's convenient to York Road, which again is a thoroughfare that leads you north into Baltimore County or south back down into the city. So the location is ideal and people love it just because they have easy access to all of those highways. So the location is key. Plus, you're super close to Baltimore City. So if you want to go experience nightlife, go downtown, check out some of the restaurants, then you really are only a 20-minute drive from downtown, which makes it really convenient as well. Number 2 on the list of pros are schools. And as I mentioned in the beginning, schools are kind of a big draw. Towson has Towson High School, Loch, Delaney, and all of these high schools, some of them are blue ribbon schools. There are also really great private schools. And a lot of times people who live in the city might have their kids in private schools or charter schools. And so knowing that the public education in Baltimore County and in Towson is relatively strong is a draw. So it's definitely positive and something that keeps, neighborhoods in the Towson area really desirable. So schools is pro number 2. Number 3 is Loch Reservoir. It is an outdoor space and a hiking area that I absolutely love. So if you're like me, you like to hike, you like to get outside, it's absolutely gorgeous and vast. So there's new trails that you can try all the time. There is opportunities for mountain biking if you like to do that, just sitting near the water and kind of watching the animals. I've seen people fish there. So having outdoor spaces and things to do is really nice. And Loch Reservoir is a beautiful place to take your family, to take a hike, and just enjoy the out of doors. So that's pro number 3 of living in Towson. Pro number 4 is that Towson is a mix of urban and suburban. So it's not that far removed from Baltimore City where there's absolutely nothing to do. You have nightlife, you have bars, you have restaurants, and it also is home to Towson University. So because Towson caters to, a college age crowd, downtown Towson, kind of near the center and near the university, has a lot of stuff to do with restaurants, places to go, things to see. And if you go there on, a Friday night, a Saturday night, it'll be bustling and things to do. But when you get into the neighborhoods, they're not as urban as you might think of some of the Baltimore City neighborhoods. So you do have a mix of that suburban feel with an urban feel because there are things to do. So it's a nice mix of those two factors. Another pro is that taxes are lower than Baltimore City. One thing about Baltimore, the city, is that the tax rate is the highest in the entire state. And so another reason why people tend to move to the county eventually is because they want to take advantage of those lower tax rates. So having a lower tax rate than the city is definitely a pro. Okay, so we did the pros. Let's move on to the cons now. And number one con, something that just sometimes can't be avoided, especially if you're traveling in rush hour, is traffic. The main thoroughfares, the main highways, freeways, whatever, they get congested, and it's important to know that and to plan accordingly. 83 and 695 get clogged, and sometimes if you're going north or south, east or west, it really doesn't matter. At certain times of day, you will be stuck in traffic and you'll be crawling. So that's something to know, especially if you are a commuter. Okay, on to con number two. There has been a spike in crime in Towson, especially this was kind of prevalent around the holidays. Things were happening at Towson Town Center, in the parking lots and things like that, and just an uptick in crime. I think that it's really important, no matter where you're moving to look at local crime statistics so that you know what's going on in communities and neighborhoods, and so that you make sure that you're making the best decision for your family. I always tell people who are moving into this area that any place can have crime. Any place can have, things that are negative. So it's important kind of not to lump things together, to look at crime statistics for particular neighborhoods that you're looking into, and just making sure that you're picking areas that you feel safe in. I think in general, Towson feels safe. People walk around in the evenings downtown, people walk in their neighborhoods, but I do know that there has been a recent uptick in crime, so that's just something to keep in mind. Okay, con number three is parking, especially parking downtown. Like if you're going to a bar or to restaurants, can be a pain in the butt. You might have to circle a lot to find a space. Sometimes you might be lucky. Obviously in neighborhoods, if you have a garage, if you have a driveway, in neighborhoods it's not going to be an issue, but sometimes in the more commercial areas you might have some issues with parking, so that's something to keep in mind. Okay, on to the next con. Cost of living. Towson is a desirable area, but it's also a more expensive area. It's not the most expensive area when you're comparing it to Montgomery County, Prince George's County, Howard County, but certainly compared to Baltimore City, cost of living is higher. Specifically, home prices are higher. So that's something to keep in mind. And, obviously affordability of housing, especially with interest rates the way that they are, is really important. So it's just really good to know that cost of living is a little bit steeper than you might find in Baltimore City, so that you can kind of think about your budget and prepare accordingly if you're planning on moving to Towson. My last con is that in Towson, there is not as much racial diversity as you would find in Baltimore City or Howard County or Montgomery County or Washington, D.C. So I think that if demographics are important to you and a good mix is important to you, not to say that other races do not exist. It's a college town, so there's college kids and, but I think when I think about demographics, I'm talking about compared to maybe Baltimore City or some of the other more urban counties that have more of a racial mix. So that's just important to keep in mind. And, something that I know a lot of people think about. They want their kids to go to racially diverse schools and they want to live in racially diverse neighborhoods. So I would say that's a con, that it's not as racially diverse as some other areas in Maryland. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video on the pros and cons of living in Towson, Maryland. As you can see, there are lots of reasons to move to Towson. It's a fabulous community. And as with any place, there are pros, there are cons, there are benefits. And I think that, it's a really fabulous place. I work in Towson. I'm in Towson right now. That's where my office is. So it's got a special place in my heart. And if you're thinking about moving to the Towson area, I really would encourage you to reach out to me, give me a call, give me a text, and I can kind of help chat you through the area, talk you through neighborhoods, and see if Towson would be a good fit for you. Again, thank you so much for watching. Bye.